Hi guys, and welcome to Making It with Dee. I'm Dee, and in today's video and for the next few weeks I'm going to be focusing on pumpkin spice recipes. Okay, 'tis the season, so here we go. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how I bake my family's traditional pumpkin pie, and it's delicious, it's wholesome, and it's amazing. It's a favorite. So stay tuned and let's see how this goes. Grab your aprons, turn on your ovens, and let's get baking. Now the beauty of this recipe is that we're actually using genuine, original, earth-grown pumpkin. Okay, we're not using this out of the jar, out of the can, pumpkin squash, whatever, pumpkin pie mix. We're using the real thing, the genuine article. So, to prepare the pumpkin for the pie, I'm going to roast it. Sometimes I boil it, but today, for this video, I'm going to roast it. So I'm going to take about 2 cups worth. I'm going to put it in the oven. Okay. So, however you like to roast your pumpkin, go ahead and do it that way. I prefer to do it like this. This is one of my favorite recipes for pumpkin pie, and I've made it on several occasions. Alright, so I'll just sprinkle a bit of salt. I'm just eyeballing. Like that, and some olive oil. Just drizzle. And off to the oven it goes. Okay, I'm going to bake it probably about half an hour, and then we'll get on with the rest of the recipe. While the pumpkin is roasting in the oven, I'm going to get the crust of the pie ready. Okay, to start off, I'm going to sift the flour twice, not just once, twice. Okay, so I've got flour, baking powder, and some salt. One time. And a second time. Okay, now that the flour is sifted, I'm going to add the butter. And the recipe says to rub the butter into the flour with your fingers. So that's what I'm about to do until it resembles breadcrumbs. I think what we have here is beginning to resemble the breadcrumbs, and so I will start adding the next ingredient. The next ingredient is egg yolk. So for starters, let me separate the egg from its yolk. Job done. And then I'm going to add few tablespoons of cold water to this egg yolk and mix. I'm gonna whisk it. Add my And now this goes in here. I'm going to be using a knife and working the egg yolk into the, into the dough with the knife. It's clumped in quite nicely, and now I will begin to use my fingers again to form a little dough. As with all dough, if it's too dry, you can always add some water or milk. If it's too sticky, you add a little bit more flour. In my case, I think I might have gotten it just right. I think that's just about right. And I don't need to knead this dough, because this is not that kind of dough. It's not the kind of dough that needs kneading. Okay, dough's ready, and I'm going to be pressing it out onto my my pie dish. This is the only work part of this recipe, actually. The rest of it is pretty straightforward. Aim is usually to get a very thin layer on the bottom, on the base, and slightly thicker around the sides. Okay, and then I'm going to just add a little bit of a pinch between my fingers, just to give it a bit of a flashy edging. Look at that, she's fancy. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the oven. My oven has already been preheated 220 degrees Celsius, and it bakes for about 10 minutes or so, just until it's a little bit light brown in color, and that's when it will be ready for the filling. Right, my pumpkin has finished roasting, so I am just going to very quickly try and peel it. Proceed to mash the pumpkin. Isn't that just such a beautiful color? Now I'm going to get ready to add the rest of the ingredients. It's a very simple recipe. Just put everything together and then pour it into the crust. So I'm going to be adding several ingredients at the next minute. I'm using the leftover egg white from the crust recipe. Okay. Boop. Eggs are in. Next, the sugar goes in. Next, the milk goes in. Let's begin with the spices. salt. We have cinnamon. Next we have some nutmeg. Nutmeg. And then, lucky last, cloves. And now we mix it together. I'm going to pour this into the pie crust that I've just taken out of the oven. Getting ready to pour the filling into the pie crust. And then this final spice factor. Cinnamon. And she's ready for the oven. So now I'm going to put it in the oven. I'm going to lower the heat to 160 degrees Celsius because it was still on 220 from the crust. And then it's going to bake in the oven for at least an hour. And how you know that it's cooked? Once again, put a knife in the middle, pull it up, and if it's dry, then she's cooked. And I'll see you when it comes out the oven. So, the recipe that I use usually suggests to let it cool, let the pumpkin pie cool completely, and to serve it cold with some cream. Me, I prefer it warm with some cream so that the cream just melts into it and it's just this delicious combination of flavor. So, let's see if we can get this cream on here. Now that's my favorite. It's time for the taste test. And this happens to be one of my favorite family recipes. I already know how it tastes and I love the taste of it. But for the video's sake, I'm going to do this taste test. And for my own sake too. Here we go. It is the best. This is by far the best pumpkin pie I have ever eaten. And I eat time and time again because I love it so much. Because we use real pumpkin, it kind of gives you that sense of, you know, wholesomeness, which I like. There's a bit of sugar in there. I mean, you know, it adds the flavor. And then the spices. So the spices is what makes this so delicious. The cinnamon, the nutmeg, a touch of clove. Mwah. Chef's kiss. So I can't really say any more. I'm just going to finish this slice and you guys get to watch. There you have it. The crust was actually quite crunchy. Really quite nice, a little different texture added on. But as you can see, I licked the platter clean. So, if you'd like to stick around, check out my next video that I'm going to be putting out. For the month of October, I'm going to be doing a special series on pumpkin spice, anything pumpkin related videos for the next few Saturdays. So check out my channel same time next week to find out what's next. Thank you for hanging out here with me on Making It With Dee, where today we made one of my extra special favorites. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video.